Hello, so back again with another version playing Mono Black Sacrifice deck. Recorded this in my first video for the channel. Listening back, the audio quality is pretty rough, so hopefully this version's going to be a bit better. In terms of changes to the deck, in the previous video I had a few games where I was quite low on creatures in the graveyard to get value out of a Reap in the Graves. So I'm trying adding some more sacrifice fodder, these Nezumi Link Breakers, in place of some of the Springleaf Drums. Springleaf Drum was quite impressive in terms of getting you, the idea behind the card was you could get up through your mana more quickly, and then you could still sacrifice it away to Deadly Dispute, Eviscerated Insight, and the like. But as I say, just thinking, increasing the creature density, we're up to 27 creatures in the main deck. See whether this runs a bit smoother. So with that, let's get into some game. So we're on the draw for round one. Gonna mulligan this. Gonna keep this, and probably put back the Snuff out. So one thing to look out for. We'll expect there'll have to be some more mulligans now that we've essentially cut a mana source. Shouldn't be a surprise. The other thing I'll kind of comment on is probably never going to play enough games to really kind of work out an optimum setup for this deck. And we will all tend to be quite, how do you say, need to put stuff in my main phase. It's going to help. We'll tend to be quite results orientated. So have a league, tend to draw too many lands. Tend to draw too few creatures, put some more creatures in. Might tend to not have enough mana sources after this league, go back and try and change that. So with just essentially one set of reps on the deck, or one player getting reps on the deck, you're just not going to see enough. It's going to take too long to do all the possible variations in order to see what the optimum setup should be. So here I'm going to play out. I assume they're on Terror because they played the Brainstorm rather than Fae. So I'm going to start with playing Shambling Ghast. So I start with playing Mortician Beetle. I'll probably care about this one slightly less. If they want to counter, they have to do it now. So yeah, counter spell on this. Okay. Play a Shambling Ghast. We'll just sack for one. We'll keep this around, it can take out a Delver or something. It's also our treasure token to get us up to Reap in the Graves. So in order to be mana efficient, I think we're going to start with the Infiltrator again. Same thing where if they counter it, we're going to get all our creatures back with Reap in the Graves this match sooner or later. So I'd rather they counter first and make sure we don't run into any combat tricks. Their graveyard's starting to get filled up. And having these Shambling Ghast around, we can block and sack, for example, so hopefully Barset's got a lot of time. So the Sneaky Snacker implies they're more on a I've tended to see these more in like Jameer control decks rather than like a pure MonoUterror. So be interested to see what versions they're on. So it's quite tempting to try and go for Deadly Dispute. They're 3 cards in hand. If one of them just Spell Pierce, that would be quite rough. The benefit of it would be that if we do hit a land, obviously we can play the Reap in the Graves more easily. I'm quite wary of just essentially limiting myself to just playing the Line Breaker by playing at this turn. Alternatively, they're unlikely to really tap much lower than this. So I think we'll go to their turn, we'll try and block and then Deadly Dispute this. at minimum it buys us 6 damage. You know, they've already put 2 counter spells in the bin. I'm kind of less concerned about them having the 3rd counter spell. So yeah, we're not going to be able to fit a card in around a spell pierce very easily. We're low on mana there, obviously got plenty. So let's block here. We'll Deadly Dispute. We'll get a treasure, whatever the outcome. See whether the dispute resolves. It does, that's pretty good. So now we're going to have 5 mana in our next turn. We can see what they do. So with 5 mana we can play 2 of our creatures. Storm count will be 3. We can basically pick up our graveyard. And just try to work out whether there's any of these creatures we'd rather have back over the... Basically whether it's worth putting 2 counters on the carrion feeder over playing any of these other ones. I think I'm rather just not sacrificing, so we can get back these 3, not sacrifice these 2 now. Black. And then we've got the start of our board that is going to grow pretty large in our next. Yeah, we'll play this set of creatures to the board next turn. Our board's going to get pretty large, and then we've got plenty of fodder to sacrifice. We can attack 1. And then I'll probably put the link breaker in front of the Cryptic Serpent if that attacks. So they are on Dimir rather than straight MonoUterror. I don't really want to see a Murmuring Mystic, that's my Deep Analysis is fine for 4 mana. Murmuring Mystic is yeah. How kind. So the nice thing about blue-black is they'll often run some number of snuff outs, and the advantage obviously in our mono-black deck is we don't really care. Card's dead. So block, don't get to sacrifice for our value. Where does this one go? Second to the top, so we won't draw it unless we hit draw 2 effects. And we'll see whether they can Thought Scout away. No, so we will just play Infiltrator, Shambling Ghast, and probably the Infestation Sage over the Beetle in case they have some kind of -1/-1 effects. So we can just attack 2. And then with the other Reaping of Graves in hand, we can return. I guess we'll only have mana for 1 unless we keep the Shambling Ghast around for the treasure. But essentially, even if they have a counter spell up for the carrion feeder, we'll be able to get some get a hard counter reanimate. Just trying to think where's our best way to block. I think I want to block with the ghast and make a treasure over block with the sage. Making a treasure, they might miss it, but it's a permanent we can sacrifice instant speed to improve to buff up our infiltrator. Not too worried about the 2-1 chipping in. I don't think that's going to get there in time. So they move 2 carrion feeders. Any spell would have been great. So I think this might be a situation where we're probably just playing the carrion feeder. I think even just passing back straight away, and then expecting if they play multiple spells or play a spell in our end step, then we might blow the Reap of the Graves then. Just getting back the 2 feeders, what does that mean? We'd be able to grow our infiltrator bigger than, well, easily bigger than the serpent, but I think we can push for a bit more. They counterspell this, then we play the Reaping for 3. Tempted in by that. I don't think they'll play any discard spells, so make our land drop. No attacks. And then a deck that's playing a whole bunch of cantrips over there probably has quite a hard time not giving us a couple of spells of Storm Count. I've got 6 cards now, and they might as well play some of them. So they go to combat first. It'd be quite nice to make a flying attack, they're only at 11. So if we block both of these, that's most of our kind of chump done, but again we're really limiting the amount of damage we take. Keeping snuff outs alive by chump blocking quite early. Getting creatures in the graveyard, not the end of the world. I'll probably get these back over preferably over the link breaker. Probably not the shambling ghast at the minute. So they play a sneaky snacker, hoping for a bit more. They thought scour us. That's 2. Yeah, that's what we want to see. Keep going. So we'll get back 4 creatures now. So don't think it really matters when we do it. Actually, go to their end step just in case they decide they'd want to play another terror to the board because of it. So we get back 4 creatures. I think we'll try and target 2 carrion feeders to make sure we get one of these, and probably 2 infestation sages, and maybe even the shambling ghast just to pick this off. So carrion feeder. Very glad they kept playing spells. And again, the advantage of the Storm card over Blood Fountains, any of the other ways you can return, is pretty clear. So carrion feeder, infestation sage, infestation sage. Let's go to our turn. Oh, rubbing my hands at that one. I play carrion feeder. This is hilarious that we always draw these draw so many of these when we do. Play a carrion feeder. I can taste this already. Counted 1. I imagine they're going for the other. Rather, what's the wording? What's the saying? Rather lucky than good. So we can get back 4 creatures now. Unfortunately, we can only play 1 this turn, because we've only got the 1 treasure up still. So it's a tough life, I'm telling you. So I think we play the carrion feeder. We'll get back 2 carrion feeders. Waiting for the salt off in the chat. And 2 carrion feeders, probably 3 just other foddery spells. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Play a carrion feeder, put a counter on the infiltrator. Just getting 1 into play now so that we can get sacrifice value if they do attack. You know, obviously we drew really well hitting 3 Reaping the Graves. We've now got up to kind of 6 cards, 2 in hand. See, all of ours are cheap 1-drops, but hopefully we've got the board to have some synergy. I could have pumped this and attacked, but I need to prevent some damage. I guess they're going to draw back another 3 with Laura Overload. Yeah, so I could have attacked, but I'm going to need to do some and pumped this to survive combat with the terror. But I'm going to need to do some blocking this turn to prevent my life total getting too low. And then this guy's going to become pretty huge. They don't shuffle, which is probably not a great sign for us. And then the other worrying thing is we're more or less out of gas. We've got 1 more Reaping, obviously, so they go after a carrion feeder. I can sacrifice them to himself to put counters on here, or I can sacrifice some more creatures now. So I've got 1 in hand. They've used 4 counter spells. They don't look to be on any sprites, so I thought we'd have seen 1 by now. They are. So I'm kind of expecting this is going to resolve. But I guess I will. I'd rather. Is the extra 1 even good to draw? So only if they have like an Agony Warp or cast down for it. I'm going to sacrifice him to himself. I'm going to know about it. I'll keep him. I'll keep him just so that I don't look silly. Look silly if they do have a cast down or an Agony Warp, and I'll try and put him on top. So we're going to have to do quite a lot of blocking here, but if they attack with everybody, we've got a good chance of killing them. So this is kind of a low risk approach to block everything. I might leave back 1 of these, take 9. No, that's so I think they are going to have to be chump blocking. Fangs is hopefully going to be great. So let's start on a freebooter, because we'll be sacrificing him anyway. Carrion feeder. The shambling gas, so sacrifice the freebooter and keep the carrion feeder on top. So hopefully these always yield. Put it on top. Always yes, always yield. Raise yield here. Play the Infestation Sage. I can play the Shambling Ghast, and that will leave up Unexpected Fangs. Currently, they're taking 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I can put them dead to even if they block this. Don't know what one spell I'm worried for there. So let's play the Shambling Ghast. We'll sack this to make a treasure. Don't think they were going to play anyone like a actual factual unsummon. I didn't actually need to sack it to make a treasure, but I got one. Add black. Play the Link Breaker. So go to combat. According to my maths, we can kill them from the Mortician Beetle. Either way, I mean, they're chump blocking now. So 2, 5, 2, 4, 6, 9, 10, 11. It's kind of easier to kill you through that one. Again, nice we don't have to worry about snuff out. But we have used up a bit over half of our time. Yep. So good outing on game one, round one. So I like my snuff outs here. Again, I think they're probably going to bring in Murmuring Mystics, which can be a right bother because they'll go up the board. I like having Rotom Union. Obviously, they've got Snackers. They've got Deep Analysis, and they often have like Sleep of the Dead, which is an escape card, keeps something tapped, which can be right pain. So I'll probably board out the Unexpected Fangs. Against Delver, I think it's really important to have some life gain to offset the amount of stuff out you play, because they're always going to chip in with some flying creatures. Against Pterodex, it's less important because you can often just block the 5/5. Let's do a sideboard in, sideboard out pile. Other things to board out. So these are the Rotom Unions are essentially the graveyard hate and sacrifice fodder, so I can afford to cut some of my kind of worse sacrifice fodder effects. I'm very aware. I've not really tried it, but I'm always figuring I'm quite wary of cutting Shambling Ghast or Freebooters, because the Reap in the Graves are so important in the matchup, and then at 3 mana they can be quite hard to cast, or at least to get a storm count and then cast. Just thinking about opponents probably regretting, having 6 cards in hand and my one actually playing spells. They're ahead on board, just hold tight. Sorry, I'm saying I don't want to shut the Shambling Ghast. I'm thinking I'll cut the Mizumi Link Breakers. It's probably one of the worst of that kind of effect. I'd rather have the flying blocker. It can attack over their guys, or block a snacker. Maybe I cut one of the freebooters. I figure if this can pick off a snacker, it's probably marginally better than the scry flexibility on pick offer. Snacker, if it's important, marginally better than the flexibility we get from having the scry effect. So I think this looks pretty good. Again, I'm not going to play the Fiends because they are they don't necessarily trade up well or interact well with the counterspell. They're more for kind of a combo deck that I want to disrupt rather than kind of picking through a control deck. So I'm going to keep this one lander because we've got the draw to the scry could be useful here, and we're on the draw. But yeah, we're playing 17 lands. We'll get some one landers. We're going to lose some games because we keep them, they don't come through. Hopefully we win some games where we keep them, they do. So I'm going to lead on a freebooter because of the scry effect. I'll even put a stop on my upkeep. Or at least let's think about stopping our upkeep depending on what they tap the mana. So they're holding up spell bits. I'm not going to just blindly try destroying the land. Is clearly very good at Magic today. Attack with a freebooter. Then I think we prioritise just playing out some of our jumps. Could see leaving up only playing one, leaving up a Village Rites. Let's just do that. Play a freebooter again that we can sacrifice some value. MonoUterror in step. So yeah, we'll get a draw to off here. Just whilst we can, whilst the coast are clear. We also make a treasure. Not really matters, I'll sack this one. So make a treasure, which means we kind of keep a land as well. We've got the first Reap in the Grave, so that extra mana is pretty good. Perfect. Really just want to be seeing draw twos as much as possible. So we've got Snuff Out if they try and go for a Mystic. They're probably going to get to return this snacker this turn. If they do, they're shielded down for a counterspell. Need to focus on playing. I wasn't expecting that. Need to focus on playing quickly. So let's play out Deadly Dispute, just straight up draw two. Let's not faff around with any of the other nonsense. Play a Carrion Feeder. Use the treasure, play an Infestation Sage. And then I'm not going to attack because they're already. Oh. Okay, well, kind of a shame that this match gets cut off early. I don't think that. I don't think there's anything particular about this position that we were, hugely advantaged, but we'll take it and get on with round two. Hello, and back again for round two. Kind of a bit of deja vu for the end of the last match. I'm going to keep a one-lander. We're on the draw. We have freebooter into Village Rites. Again, I might have mentioned previously, I think Affinity is a pretty rough matchup for this deck, just because they play Nihil Spellbomb. We don't like the Cloudclan Toxin combo. Might have spoken too soon. Might not know what they are on. I think I'm gonna just play. I don't think they're going to be on many counterspells because of the Drossforge Bridge. Maybe it's like an Affinify kind of deck. But based on not thinking they want too many counter spells, I'm not going to prioritise the village rights. I would against a deck that is playing lots of that effect. Just attack for one, see what they want to do. If they chose to block, we might have thought about sacrificing to get the treasure up, but that's suddenly a lot of colours of mana. I'm opponent's on a spicy one. So I was going to say, if we can draw a land, we can start doing quite a lot of things this turn. So it is like an Affinify thing, but if that's the case, I would rather they counter the freebooter than the Infiltrator. So this Infiltrator is going to get very large very quickly. I'm inclined to attack here. I would sacrifice these two if they block. Kind of tempted to tap the Sage as well. If they're blocked here, I would just sacrifice it. Doing that way, I don't attack with everybody. Sure. Now that I know they are on, I was going to say, now that I know they are on spell stutters, I'm a bit more inclined to use the village rights aggressively. So I'll just deal 3. And then I'm gonna sack this for treasure. Treasure and effectively 3 power. So 1 on the carrion feeder, 2 on the infiltrator. I'll take another beetle. Whilst shields down, so second counter on this, we can village rights, sack this. So we're drawing a beetle, see what else. It gives us a blocker for the spell stutter. I don't know if they're on ninjas as well as all of the other dwellers there, whatever they're playing the 4 colours for. But see, we're up to a 5/4 now. Doesn't die to snuff out. They try and target it with a galvanic blast, which I think is a sacrifice. It'd just be rude to play go for the throats. So what's the green going to be for? I can kind of see everything else. I'm kind of worried they're just going to be on, like, I don't know, I'm imagining all the fun things you could be on if you just played every colour. So I've got to think an Infestation Sage is probably pretty scary, maybe not scary to them, but if it's another thing that would trade with the Sprite, I think they might want to counter it. Whether they have to or not, I don't know. So this is just trying to force through as many spell stutter sprites as we can. So let's just vomit out our hand. My next worry is that they have a toxin analysis. It's just going to get our infiltrator. That'd be a shame. But I don't think we're quite at the point we were in the last game where we could kill them whatever they block, but we can sure get in for a lot of damage. So if they're blocking like this, I'm going to prioritise sacking the freebooter to get a scry. Another infiltrator. And it's another creature that's going to grow large pretty quickly. We're going to keep most of the width of our board this turn, we'll have essentially 3 creatures that can counter on it. I think I'm going to bottom this. It depends if we bottom it and they go and they not go for the throat, cast down our guy, we'll be quite sad, but hopefully we can still get them with a beetle in it. Hopefully we can still get there with the beetle and the carrion feeder. So double chumps. Can do dispute to buy back the snacker. Again, like a shambling gas to pick this off, so we clear the way for attack would be pretty nice at the top. I just think there's probably quite a few things that could be better than the infiltrator. Hence bottoming it. And if the infiltrator was going to be good, a lot of the time I think it's kind of win more. So I just saw on how many decks can we stitch together with Wildfire. Still don't know what the green's in for. This might be one that we bring in. Who are we going to find out? Oh, it's just what's your boy called? Writhing Chrysalis, is it? No? Yeah, Writhing Chrysalis. Okay. So all the best cards they can find stitched together with Cleansing Wildfire. So we're probably going to rely on them to get our storm count up for this Reap in the Graves. Maximum this can be as a 4/5. So I'm happy to attack with these. Have I got enough things I can throw under this? I think with the Unexpected Fangs from hand, essentially sacking two of these three creatures this represents. I'm happy enough doing that. Expecting block, block, block. So only block there. I'm going to prioritise leaving up mana for their... they don't know this, but we're going to get a sacrifice counter here. I forgot that when I was doing my comp mass as well. Every time they'd sacrifice a counter to put sacrifice a creature to put a counter on the Writhing Chrysalis, we'd get one on the beetle. But yes, I'm going to prioritise leaving up 3 mana over getting our Unexpected Fangs off. You can see them easily playing a couple of spells, the Deadly Dispute here. So hopefully we'll be getting back some of our 4 creatures in the graveyard. And hopefully they're not on like the toxin analysis combo. Anything else I think I'm quite happy trying to beat. Even makeshift munitions. I'm worried they're just going to be on like brood scale as well as everything else. I don't know why, it's just what come to mind. So storm count's currently 3, so currently 2, so we'll only get back 3 of our creatures, which would be Freebooter, Infestation Sage. Again, the Eldrazi Spawn tokens are annoying because they just prevent. We don't really have a way to get trample. If we were to splash into green, there's a few things that give things with 1/1 counters trample. But I think the advantage of being monocolor, when you're only running so few lands, you don't have to play tap lands. It kind of speaks for itself. So I think we're just going to play out to the board again. We're kind of all in on these are our 3 creatures. I'm just going to be as big as they can be, and try and put them in a position where they have to chump block as many creatures as possible as early as possible. Obviously they can try and makeshift munition down our creatures. We can sacrifice in response. I miss playing my land for the Unexpected Fangs, but we do have some treasure tokens stored up on the board. I'm not going to attack with the insect token, am I? If I can avoid sacrificing it, having to sacrifice it I will. Obviously they can pick it off, but I'm kind of forcing them to go first. So this looks like a deadly dispute on their end. So 3, 5, 7, 8, 9. Are we going to go for it? I think if they have a cast down, it's going to be like, it's going to kill one of our 3 creatures. It doesn't really matter when. So let's sack the freebooter first. We'll get the scry first. I mean, this is their kind of, the Mateship Munition is going to be too slow to interact with this. Let's see what we're doing. Let's bottom the swamp. Yeah, so my thinking here is that we're still just, if their cast down is their way to interact, it's going to be good against us kind of regardless, and take one of our creatures out. We just make all of these absurdly large, and they are done. So I don't know whether they, were just bluffing us into hoping we didn't go for it, or just somehow missed the damage they're facing down. So just everything soup. Sea Snacker, Sea Rotten Reunion, that seems fair. My other kind of rule is Chrysalis and Snuff Out go together. So I mentioned previously that I think the Mesmeric Fiends are better against kind of more kind of combo decks that are trying to piece something together, rather than or like a Turbo Frog type deck, rather than just a blue control deck where sometimes you get a 2-for-1, but if they interact with a feeder or a sacrifice thing, you can lose some value. But because they've got so much, almost, let's say, nonsense going on, they might be weaker to having their hand kind of attacked by a Mesmeric Fiend, or B, at least know what's coming and can try and play around it. And then I think I'm going to try and bring in some more Snuff Outs as well. Like I say, it's good against Chrysalis, and then good if they're on Clan Toxin combo. I think Line Breakers are probably the worst of our kind of sacrifice fodder effects. I can't see needing Unexpected Fangs in this matchup, even though we're bringing in the Snuff Outs. And then we've got up to 3 more cuts. Could see leaving one of the Mesmeric Fiends at home. Again, like against a kind of, what I imagine, a true combo deck. Looping, the more of these you can loop with Reaping the Graves, the better. But if they're more, again, I don't really know what they are. 3 more cards to cut. I could see it being a Rotten Reunion. We've only seen the Snackers kind of recursion. Mogi's Favour is for sideboarding against Fae, but less worried if they're only on Snackers. So let's do that and then cut these 2 just to make a quick choice. So cutting the freebooters because we're essentially we're going 2 freebooters because we're essentially replacing the sacrifice fodder with Mesmeric Fiends. I'm going to keep this hand, but it's the type of hand I think is probably the biggest trap in the deck. You've got your payoffs, but unless you draw the right things to go with it, you end up with just a hand that gets, or a series of cards that get picked apart very easily. This kind of leaves you the most vulnerable to I don't know, like a breath weapon or something that somebody might want to bring in. Yeah, definitely feeling that now. If I play the, I don't know, and they can sprite us, so as with this hand as is, I would trade a carrion feeder for a sprite straight up. No issue there. They tap out, flash at a sprite for whatever reason, we'd happily just play out 2 1-drops. Otherwise, I don't think we can afford to play a 1-drop into a sprite, so we just have to play the Infiltrator. And then, expecting they'll target one of these with the removal spell, we'll sacrifice the one they're targeting. Cool. Nearly just jammed a 1-drop into that and just got blown out for no reason, but managed to avoid it in the end. The conflict between auto-yielding to avoid being too far down on time and needing to hold up, not auto-yield so we can respond to their spell is tough. So again, they'll target something, we'll sacrifice potentially the one they target. To be honest, I'll sacrifice the carrion feeder to keep the Infiltrator around, because we've got backup carrion feeder, and Infiltrator is going to grow the biggest the quickest. So let's play another Infiltrator first, yeah? Why not? Expecting this means they'll target the carrion feeder. Or do we go the other way and we play the 2-1? Oh no, because I've got the 1 spell slot around. Trying to think what would matter. I don't really want them to know about the backup carrion feeder. I think I'm going to start with a Mortician Beetle, leave this in hand, if I can, and then this would be what I would sacrifice. If they react. So I will sacrifice this to myself, put a counter on the Infiltrator. Yield. And this means that we have to play the carrion feeder. I can't just hang out a load of 1 toughness creatures. So, a minute ago I was talking about just trading a spell setter for a carrion feeder. This is unfortunate. I'm amazed that they don't leave a mana up to interact there. We hope we have a lot of draws that can punish it. It's not perfect, but it will do. So I think I'm probably just sacrificing this Mortician Beetle just to get 2 toughness on everything. 2 toughness is kind of that breaking point where the makeshift munitions is less efficient. Then we get in for 8 damage. So again, if they have a breath weapon, we can sacrifice, say, this Mortician Beetle in response. That'll get us up to above the necessary toughness. Chrysalis, sure. Remember, Chrysalis, Mortician Beetle interaction. I've hit auto yield to save some time. I can turn it off. That's a bit of a pain. So we attack with everything. What they do, they're essentially block. I think we're attacking with everything because otherwise it's getting us into trouble. You know, I don't want to give them more time than they do have enough creatures to ping down enough sacrifice fodder to ping down our board. So they sacrifice their spawn tokens, this grows. This can block here, which is a bit of a bother. But if they do, we can just grow our infiltrators up to 4/3s. I might well be letting whatever the basically whatever the Chrysalis blocks, sacrificing that. Again, we're just trying to push through damage here. So they think this is the lowest. Oh, they have got. Have they got me? So they'd have to sacrifice a land if they wanted to throw this here. If I went first, do I have to go first? So if I sacrifice this, then they can kill this in response by sacrificing spawn for basically 2 mana, and then either sacrifice a land and a spring, or if they do, I do not mean to concede. That was an accident. So yeah, I sacrifice the carrion feeder. We're never getting out of this combat alive. The intention here is that in doing so we grow our board sufficiently. They let the counter go on, which implies they're not trying to kill any of our creatures. And let's see whether they remember that sacrificing their spawn tokens pumps our beetle. Kind of annoying that I can't auto you because I didn't play my land for the F6 value. So they're taking 5 down to 3, I think. Yeah. That's one for a turn. So we have a 5/4, 5/4, 5/5, and a 4/3. Really, the kind of worrying thing they can have here is the Cloudplant Toxin combo, in which case we need to draw some, combinate something start with a Deadly Dispute to get ourselves back out of it. Otherwise, we are just hoping that it holds. I mean, they can throw their board at 3 things at this, but still leaving up red-black. We're not out of the woods yet, so they don't know we could be holding up a snuff out. Be super scary. Oh, so we get there just by having a quick clock. The Chrysalis did quite a lot of work slowing us down, but managed to push through. We get to be on the play for round 3. It's kind of the opposite of the hand from the end of round 2. We have all of the fodder, not much to kind of pay it off. I guess this is the hand where you hope you're against mono red and you can just kind of play fair 1 or mana 1/1s. I'm going to lead on the Infestation Sage. I think it's most valuable against most matchups. See a Swamp back. So I've got to think this is Brood Scale rather than a mirror. Figuring it's Brood Scale, I'm going to attack. 1/1 flyer that can just chip in for damage is pretty good. Doesn't block Shock and Horror. I will play, I think, 2 Ghasts first. So this normally looks, I think this is normally like a black-green Brood Scale list, though some Gardens decks now, I think, play Freebooter as well. See what. So 2 swamps. I'm starting to get worried. Oh boy. They are on something spooky. So it's like a turbo initiative. I mean, that initiative's coming back. Makes sense why they didn't block. Oh, that and they need a creature they can throw away. I mean, I reckon I'm going to like this matchup. I've got, a couple of big creatures that they want to keep, that we want to snuff out. That sounds like a good start. I'm just going to keep playing 1/1s. Yes, if the opponent is needing to resolve some key creatures, we have snuff outs. That sounds like. So I'm going to attack. Expect they'll block, kill this. We'll get the initiative. I want to kill their Shambling Ghast so I can play my Mortician Beetle. What am I doing? I can go in the graveyard in any order, I don't care about that. I'm going to make 2 treasures. There's not enough to kill the Hunter. So game 1 might be rough, but I've got to think with just playing 4 snuff outs, I'm going to be alright against a turbo initiative deck. I get a land. By killing this, I'm going to get my flying blocker. Oh, my flying attacker, sorry, not blocker. And I think I'm just going to basically spew everything. And then we're at a point we are. Yeah, so spew everything into play. We're at the mercy of what we draw. I'm even going to play this Link Breaker as well. Kind of weakens the effect of drawing a future Reap in the Graves, because we've played out all of our 1-drops. But on the other hand, we've got more things that we can just jump attack with. If they play another block, if they attack with this, play another blocker, we can hopefully keep trading the initiative back and forth. They don't get too far ahead. I kind of think that this is again probably a matchup that they're running some snuff outs themselves. That are going to be dead in the matchup. Maybe this is actually a good idea. Like, again, for this deck, we're currently playing some Reaping the Graves as a. Oh, okay. Oh, they forget that they forgot that the beetle triggered off of them sacrificing. But yeah, I completely not thought about this. But we're currently playing these Reaping the Graves. The idea that we can get up to the mana off of the treasure tokens. I'm not sure about going all the way up to Culling the Weak to try and play them on turn 2, but you know, I've got some other storms in the side, but I'm not afraid of splashing for a green card that's particularly good, or splashing for any colour card that's particularly good. Maybe it is playing some initiative threats. And something to think about. I guess the downside is that you're not always able to, almost prevent all damage. We're often trading back and forth. So I think I'm going to bring in a Mogi's Favour that's just going to, like I say, I imagine it being against Fae will enchant all their creatures. Maybe it's too slow here, but just picking off all of their pesky, crappy 1 toughness guys could be quite good. If we're in a race, again, I don't think they're going to have. I think if they have removal, it's going to be Snuff Out. So Unexpected Fangs could be pretty good if we are just racing. And we're bringing Snuff Out, so we might want more of that effect. In terms of what we board out, the first thing that comes to mind is that if they're on a load of, I guess they might have Defiles. That's the other kind of removal that they might easily run. So if they're on a load of Shambling Gas themselves, then I don't really want to have 1 toughness creatures that can hang out to die. Maybe the Infiltrator's the worst one for that. If they're sacrificing a load of cards, the Mortician Beetle is going to be great. Infiltrator, annoyingly, is really good for the treasures, so it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to bring that in. So I cut them and play more Fangs. At least in my head. Maybe 3 Fangs seems like plenty. Is this Mogi's Favour even good? Is it just cute? Obviously, we've not got that many cards that go to the graveyard that we want to exile. We're on 27 creatures. We've got 4, 8, 14, 16 that go to the graveyard, and then maybe like a land if we Deadly Dispute it away. So we can't really do this too often. Nope, we didn't board anything. Man. Yes, we didn't do any sideboarding. I got too carried away. Who am I kidding? Hand looks great. Man. That's so funny. Didn't have to be recorded, did it? You guys won't tell. So I don't lead on the Shambling Gas, which I like. I think I'm still not going to lead on my Greedy Freebooter. Sorry, I'm still going to not lead on my Carrion Feeder in case they have a Ghast and a Sacrifice effect. This way I can put something else in play first. Not too long yet talking about their all the fun they could be having. Lose the Deadly Dispute. Fangs. Can't imagine they're too fussed about it. Maybe the Snuff Outs, they just board out their initiative. Maybe that was a trap. I'm not going to block here. So we've drawn the Snuff Out. As I say, I've now got into my head that there might well be I guess they didn't see it in game 1. They might well cut their green creatures. Just trade here. I'd be happy to pick that off with pick their flyer off the Shambling Ghast if we get the opportunity. So they've duressed us once. Which makes me think they might well be winning the no land. We are not blocking that. So this currently doesn't have another permanent that you can sacrifice. So that is just a free kill. Carrying Feeder sacking the Shambling Ghast. I'm sure they saw this in hand. So they are on a very similar deck to us. Just with this initiative kind of the high end. We are going to attack back. Because they seem to be on the same deck, I would love to put a 1/1 counter on this. 2/2 flyer is just the bane of my existence. Come on. Block it. You know about it, but I think you knew about the other one as well. I think that happens. Am I just going to put a 1/1 counter on this now? Get a scry. Carrion Feeder's not what I'm looking for. So that Mogi's Favour is coming in if we do play again. And I don't know whether the Snuff Out's have to go. I'd imagine they were all more on kind of a, like I said, turbo initiative, just try and slam an emblem and ride that to victory rather than being on a very similar black sacrifice deck. But there are dozens of us. It'd be interesting to see whether. Yes, they are playing. Again, I found it was very hard to reliably. You can splash a second colour, I think, but reliably casting a second colour was tricky. So they get some value here. I'm keeping my 2/2 flyer. Oh, non-token. Yeah, I thought I was going to get to choose. I'll just play my guy. Attack for 2. Yeah, we'll have to see whether they are on my favourite card in Reaping the Graves or not. Obviously, I've looked at County Gardens as a thing to pay off green mana, but as a payoff, or sorry, as a draw to go into green mana. But I've not previously found it work. Keep the beetle back. We don't want to just get got by a Shambling Ghast. we'd almost want a way to sacrifice this before we put this into play. And also storm count. So the opponent is heavily outdrawing us now. We're 5 cards ahead. Yeah, so I understand the duress because we're on the Reaping the Graves. I'm on with Merit Fiend because you can loot that more easily. No blocks. I want to have the first creature to sacrifice and play. So they can sacrifice 2 creatures, they can take out our insect. Yeah, so I'm on the Merit Fiend because you can leap it with Reaping the Graves. Otherwise, I understand being on duress. So this is a 3/2. They have a. How am I playing this now? I think so. If we sacrifice this, they can say Deadly Dispute in response to kill our guy. But we're currently, if I say, kind of splitting their attention. If they kill this, they might not be able to kill our insect token. Not quite sure what 2 cards they might have in their hand at this point. Again, I'm kind of no attacks, no blocks without a freebooter. It's just hanging around until we find something to sacrifice them to. It might well be the Deadly Dispute target, or target victim. Never thought to go like that. Are we the bad guys? Carrion Feeder's pretty good. So if we play the Mortician Beat, we play the Carrion Feeder first and go to sacrifice the freebooter, then they can basically, when we start to sacrifice our freebooter, they can kill our beetle. They can kill our when we go to sacrifice this, they can kill this. Gotta wonder, are they on toxin analysis? Like, that would make sense. We've not seen them have a 1 power, deal 1 damage effect, which you would run with that card. But I can't think of many other things you would just keep in land unless it's lands. But they're on turn 6. I've not played all of them. So if I play Carrion Feeder first, I put this on the stack. They probably kill these 2. If I play Beetle first, when I go to play Feeder, then they kill these 2. So I'm gonna take the opportunity to try and place the board. I'm not quite sure how it's going to pan out. So this grows if they have a sacrifice effect. So they've not got anything yet. Just going to attack with my 2/2. And now basically, again, I don't want to be the first to act, but when they do act, we have a lot of counters flying every which way, and a lot of say in how the situation kind of falls out. Interesting, we've kind of had 2 brews we're up against so far this league. The kind of weird 4-colour Wildfire, Fairy, Chrysalis, don't know what you want to call that deck, and then obviously this black-green Sacrifice. So they play a Curse Marauder, we're going to go to sacrifice a freebooter, and triggers are going to start flying. So active player, non-active player. So our triggers should resolve, our 1/1 counter triggers should resolve before their Shambling Gas triggers resolve. So this, and then there's the Mortician Beetle will trigger from sacrificing our thing, the Mortician Beetle will trigger from sacrificing their thing. There is the Infestation Stage trigger. Have I managed to auto-yield auto? Yes, that. Clearly not. Auto-yield this. Auto-yield this. Don't want the swamp. They get a 1/1. Monarch effect. Okay. So again, obviously it makes sense with the culling the graves and so on. 3/3, so a 1/3 Death Touch can trade with any of our big creatures. Yep, definitely like that. So this Mogi, using this as an example, if we draw the Mogi's thing, we'd be able to exile there's 2 spells in here. We're kind of happy to exile, throw away a creature to kill one of theirs at this point. Monarch trigger resolves, go to return. Shambling Gas is amazing, we get to pick off the insect token. That's just the best draw in the deck. So sacrifice our Shambling Gas. This gets -1/-1. Yeah. Again, I do think I'm on quite, as far as builds of like a sacrifice themed deck go, I think I'm on quite a good one. I think we also got quite lucky with how we drew a few points in that match. I think we've kept a few 1-landers and not been punished yet. So. Right, on to round 4. So we are on the draw again in round 4. Hand looks great. Now we're on mono red. So I think we'll lead on the Shambling Gas. I've got to think it's mono red. Could be Rakdos, but who's counting? So this is tricky. So it is Rakdos. Let's block. Kind of tempted to hold up the Deadly Dispute over just playing out 2 creatures. Could that be right? I'll just play out 2 sacrifice creatures for 2 fodder spells that can die. And then I want to basically be able to play. So if we sacrifice the Deadly Dispute, we'll have 3 lands, 2 treasures. So I'm going to hold up and try and Deadly Dispute for our turn. If we draw the Reaping the Graves, that would be pretty good. Make a treasure. We can kill this with the Shambling Gas later. So now I shouldn't have played this first. That's so silly. definitely meant to start by playing out the creatures you want to sacrifice so you can put counters on things. As it was, I just exposed it to bolts and bandit blasts and the like. I'm going to stop here so that we can try. We have the option to respond to a bolt or something with the draw 2. They think they're under pressure. They have to go after our creatures. Which, to clarify, they do not. They had the option because we misplayed, but they don't. It's not a great sign that they go into our face. Get back 2 snackers. That's a lot of snackers. So I think I'm going to sack the Ghast and try and pick off the Epicure now. And draw 2. I guess if we're doing that, we can sacrifice this at any point. So I'd rather sacrifice the freebooter. By that logic, we get the Scry, have a better chance of drawing kind of exactly what we want. Always yield exactly what we want does not include another land. We have that in hand. Always yield draw 2. Reaping the Graves is pretty good. So we take 2. They're at 22, which is a big number. So I think we want to start with the village rights because we'll be playing it to increase our storm count anyway. Both of these are essentially free to loop. So village rights, line break. So we've got five mana back plus this to be 6. So village rights, line breaker, reaping the graves, these 2, and this. If one of these was the Infiltrator, I think we'd probably get up to lethal. As is, I don't think we do. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, I think we're at 19 odd. So I'm going to make a treasure token now because I can get this back later. I do. And then we're hoping to draw a what's the card called? Kind of hoping to draw a Unexpected Fangs. So we can play Infestation Sage, sack it, but then we're short on Reaping the Graves, so got 5 mana. Yeah, we wouldn't be able to play anything after the Reaping the Graves then. So the alternative would be Reap. So play one of these. Reap for 3, which is 1, 2, 3. So another 6 counters here. 7, 8, 9. Yeah, still short. So if I play the Sage and sack it to Village Rights now, idea being that we're looking for this we're looking for fangs, just gain a bunch of life. 1/1 flyer can prevent some damage next turn. Don't get there. So I think we're going to be dead. They'll probably have 6. Well, I guess we can't do over 6 points of damage. So I'm expecting they can do over 6 points of damage from their hand. We can attack here. If they can't kill us, I think we've got a good shot at killing them. I'm going to sacrifice the freebooter now for a scry and some extra damage. Yes, here. Bottom this. Sack this now. Essentially, if it doesn't interact with this board, I'm not too interested in it. So we have our clocks, they have theirs. We cross our fingers, they can't do 6 points of burn from 4 cards. Opponent does 6 points of burn from 2 cards. If we were on the play, I think we'd get there. I think we were just unfortunately a bit short. We were very close to being able to. Well, we could have spent a lot more time looping, but I don't think it would have added up to 20. And so I prioritised trying to draw into a fangs. So still on weather storms here, like Rotom Unions if they're on snackers. Not like unexpected fangs. I don't want the snuff outs. Again, I'll cut the line breakers. I was thinking about cutting a freebooter. Although if we are just in a straight up race, the freebooter might be worth it. I don't want to cut any treasure cards because we're bringing the weather storms. I can avoid it. Maybe just run this. So we're cutting the link breakers as a kind of worse fodder creature. You can imagine it's replacing the Rotom Union. We're cutting the snuff out. Instead of killing a 2/2 flyer, we just make a big lifelinker. And then we're cutting village rights and replacing it with weather the storms, just kind of draw spells for gas. Now that I've got to bring these in, I think this deck's going to be called Black Green Storm this time. Got the 7 storm effects. So we will keep. I think lead on the Shambling Ghast. Hopefully we can snag some sneaky snackers. So Vault of Whispers, Infestation Sage, attack. Epicure. I'm probably going to send the Shambling Ghast into this. So, draw 2, kill this. You know when I said I wish I made a token that turn? So, freebooter, village rights, essentially mana neutral, so we can hold up Weather the Storm in their turn. You know, Rakdos tends to play quite a lot of spells. I'm not going to just play it for. I guess we could have done it for 9 and try and hold off, because again, being able to bottom a union or something could be better. So they discard a snacker, you do get to eat it. I was going to say, so we need to send this to the graveyard to get treasure to cast out Weather the Storm. I'm going to bottom the Ghast because I'm kind of looking for something more actiony at the minute. That'll do, to be honest. So, Swamp for Carrion Feeder, attack for 3. So Decade, I mentioned this previously. This will get in for 2 damage. Afterwards, there's a trigger to sacrifice at the beginning of the next end step. So they try and do 2 to this now. I'm gonna, I think, sacrifice the Decay token and then just Fangs my guy. Feeling pretty good about this game. And then now Storm count is 4 if I want to use my Weather the Storm this turn. Gain 12 life up to 30 with a 3/3. I think instead I'm going to hold up the Rotten Reunion. Again, there'll be turns with where this will gain a lot of life, so I'm kind of going to focus on widening this out by being able to Rotten Reunion, make another they've maybe just seen the Rotten Union in the graveyard, no? So basically this is another flash creature, so it's going to potentially be hard for them to kill the Carrion Feeder. So these are going to be 2 spells. I wonder what that was, where they scooped there. But we will take it. So we are back on the draw for the round 4 game 3. Anything we want to change? I don't think so. Funny that we drew both village rights to boarding 2 out, and they were both, both pretty great. Let's just hope that we get there again. Hand looks fine, not as good as last time, I don't think, but lead on the infestation stage. And I think probably go freebooter, Carrion Feeder. So they have a looting. See what they make. So they get a 1 mana 2/2 flyer. That's pretty good. So in game 1 I kind of in this spot I played 2 more creatures to sacrifice for value, and maybe that just is too slow. Maybe I'm supposed to play held up Deadly Dispute and pay out a carrion feeder. If they target it, I can think about village rightsing. This would hold a treasure. So they go after this for 2. If I sack this first, basically if I sack this first and they let me, when I go to sacrifice this and make a treasure, they'll kill this if they have it, if they want to. Whereas if I go for this one first and make a treasure, so will I actually, I've got Deadly Dispute for days, so we'll keep that on top. Always yield this. Now I will try and sack this. Our guy goes up to 3 toughness, takes 2 damage. They try and kill it again, I'm going to drop 2. Attack for 1. So annoying this isn't the 1 mana spell. I could kind of beetle, gas, Deadly Dispute away the ghast. I think I'm going to play beetle. With the 2 gas, I've got a shot at taking this down. If I draw something that lets me do that, I'm going to play the beetle, pass back with ideas of Deadly Disputing our insect token. Is that right? Yeah. And basically, you know, if they are they're killing our creatures, hopefully we get good Reaping the Graves off. If they're bolting our face, hopefully the Weather the Storm covers a few cards. They go directly after the Mortician Beetle, and we can Deadly Dispute away that. So that's a good, well, an outcome I'll accept. I didn't realise Mortician Beetle triggered off himself. So I don't think I want to Fangs up this guy in this matchup. I want to save it for something that can get big. Speaking of things that can get big, so if I play the other ghast, I can get back 3 creatures. Yeah, that's just got to be getting back 2 creatures now. Does it? I guess it depends on if I'm at risk of getting burnt out. So I can either play another ghast first, have a big Reaping and Reaping for 3, or I can play Reaping now, get back Carrion Feeder, Mortician Beetle. So if I do this, now what's the chance that they can just burn me out from here? I mean, they've been bolting my creatures over me, which implies that they're not, you know, they've not decided they're going all in on the face. If I get another turn, starting with 3 creatures in hand, I'll have a huge Weather the Storm, so it'll be kind of a guarantee victory. So I need to do 11 damage from essentially 4 cards, 4 mana. I've got Faceless Looting in the bin. I can't see it being... So our 2 options are we can either Reaping now, Weather the Storm now. I don't like Weather the Storm now. And the last alternative is pass to their turn. With ideas that they'll play 2 spells in their turn, at which point we can either Reaping if we've got time, or Weather the Storm if we don't, and that kind of prevents us from being killed. I mean, that's the safest play. If they just attack it, like, even if we only get 2 cards back then, it's these 2. Oh. I'm really not sure what the best line is here. So they've got a Faithless Looting in the graveyard, and they've not played, you know, there's a load of black spells they could have. A line that starts with Faithless Looting isn't going to have enough damage. They've played 2 Galv Blasts already. I think with this back, I'm unlikely to die through combat damage. So I can get back Mortician Beetle, Carrion Feeder, and Infestation Sage. If I get back if these die, they always make a treasure. So I'm not going to lose all my treasures and stop being able to Weather the Storm. So we'll do this. Yield and say hold, and hope that we can play what's at minimum going to be gain 12 on a Weather the Storm next turn. Hold. So that's 5. So a land and a burn spell. Never been happy to see an Epicure. We get on to 4, but that is not enough. Would I rather go down to 4 or to 2? I think our creatures are going to be large enough that I don't need the extra insect token. Is that right? Can't have Fire Blast. No, I think if I'm not dying this turn, then it's better to leave it in play. So, Great Wall, Carrion Feeder, Mortician Beetle. So we want, essentially, I guess we don't need to Fangs this turn. So we want play this, Shambling Ghast for treasure, Shambling Ghast for, yeah. I'm back off of the dream of killing the Kitchen Imp. If we're interested in that, then we can sack 1 and block with the insect token in the future. So make a treasure. Always yes. Always yield. Always yield. I mean, we can attack with 2 Shambling Ghasts. Whichever one they block. I can sacrifice that one as well. I'm just getting some free damage. we gain, so it's 15. Ah yes, mono black thunderstorm. Now, with the unexpected fangs in hand, I feel pretty good that we can see our way through. Yeah, they're kind of priced in, they have to go to face now. I think we escape. So I'm gonna block here. Sacrifice the infestation sage now, so that if they do have a removal spell, they kind of have to use it before we get our counters, as this will finish putting our creatures outside of bolt range or Gale Blast range. Now I can, well, if I'm going to sacrifice the Ghast, I can do after damage, so they can't bolt this in response or something. Sack the Ghast. This gets -1/-1. Creature becomes 5/5. So we're going to have a 6/6 lifelinker, a 5/5, regular attacker. And then they can both keep going. Even with some blood tokens, this is hopefully going to be good enough. Oh, Fangs, the Mortician Beetle. Never cast into the fire is funny. So do you make another Kitchen Imp? Still one Faithless Looting in the graveyard. Well, they're making a game of it. They can hold back 6 power, but we can pump our guy up to 7. So going back up to 18, attacking with this for an extra 1. Basically, this is as likely to turn into an extra power by just being sacrificed. I think I will sacrifice this just to get an extra life point, rather than having it back to block. And it goes to 2, so they're on double chumps. Unlikely to die this turn. I guess their I guess their way of getting out of it is going to be being able to block here, or block both, and then essentially bolt down the one that blocks the kill their own creature that blocks the Mortician Beetle to prevent the lifelink. But that means we only take 2 this turn, so we'll have to do 14 damage, which is still quite a lot. Okay. So this cast down. Nope. Ooh, that was tense there. But 4-0. I'm going to see when I get paired up with this next opponent if I can split. It would be nice to get another, nice to get the payout from it, and then also I can hopefully draw more people to watch this deck in action. Hello, so welcome back. Got the split in round 5, so another trophy with this deck, mostly earned. We'll note that we played 2 kind of funky brews, and then obviously split the 5th match, so 2 wins against kind of meta decks. I think we had more opportunities, more scenarios where the link breakers were pretty good, and having more creatures in the graveyard kind of met what we added them for over the Springleaf Drums. However, on the other hand, we did keep 2 one-landers and then immediately draw lands, so we didn't really get punished for not having the drums in the deck. Obviously, the more matches you play, the more you'll experience both ends of those variants. Other than that, I'm still pretty happy with the list. Like, there'll be a few matches in here. If you got this far, if you watched the video, you can see the Reaping the Graves really good in a few spots. Happy with most of the sideboard. You could easily play about another 15 sideboard cards that would slightly improve you in lots of matches. So I've kind of gone for some big swings in there. Other than that, I think that's basically a run through. So it'd be interesting to see if people have any comments on the deck, things that they would decisions in the play that they'd make differently. Likewise, when it comes to actually building it, this is one option. Obviously, I've played previously with the drum as another. I had a few messages back and forths on the previous video, talking about some of the other black creatures with die as triggers. There's a Scorpion that would be good if you're playing a mono red. Fear of Lost Teeth, for example, or Footlight Fiend could be really good if you're playing against little fairies. There's a ton of options for how you would, or how you could build this. I think it would take more iteration than one person can do. So hopefully, this will be two trophies again with some splits, but I'll accept that. So hopefully other people give it a go and it stops becoming quite such a rogue choice. Thanks for watching.